me, Mario!
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Theme Park Shark Podcast. My name is Dustin Spiraghi, and today we have another segment of Shark Stop with Alicia Stella. I left you guys on a pretty bad cliffhanger on the last episode, but in this one, we aren't wasting any time. We're going to dive immediately into all of the rumored details surrounding the new Mario Kart attraction at Universal Studios. Alicia, tell me what's piquing your interest the most so far.
I'm really intrigued by what we're going to be able to see at the load area, because we're starting on the upper level, and like a Men in Black Alien Attack, there's like a balcony where you can see over the edge and see the ride starting, like the first scene almost, and the cars going off. I think we're going to be able to see the starting line and the load area from the upper level as we make our way down the stairs into the load area. So it could be neat. I mean, it's not going to be as exciting or fast as like Rock and Roller Coaster, but you get the idea that like the ready, set, go is happening as you're preparing to load yourself. So it kind of gets you all hyped up for it. And then they pass, like, from the start line, you go right into a tunnel, and then who knows what happens after that. So it's going to be exciting, like, once you're in the ride to see what is next. But then you go right to the Piranha plant pipeline, which is like you're inside a giant sewer that's a pipeway, and there's the piranha plants are trying to bite you. And it's very like Super Mario. Like you feel like, okay, now I'm in a Super Mario game. This is incredible. But it's also because you're in a pipe. It's still very contained. And then when you come out of the pipe, that's when you're in the Dolphin shoals scene, where all of a sudden you're underwater. There's giant pieces of coral. There's fish swimming around and different characters. Somewhere you see kind of in the distance, there's like a building. And it's like partly underwater, and you go through like a whirlpool, and it takes you out of the water and into the building, and that's Twisted Mansion, which I'm excited for because I am a fan of the Boo Ghosts. Although, I don't think we'll be riding on the side of the building, like on the walls. I don't know if they've updated it. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I kind of hope it does. Like, it will blow my mind if we're being strapped into this thing and it's like, wait a minute, I didn't know there was a shoulder harness. What's great about things like the Twisted Mansion is I think they're going to use kind of some of the gags you see in things like Rise of the Resistance, where you can use mirrors to make the hallways longer, like Haunted Mansion style, or you can have Pepper's Ghost to make the ghosts fly around you. Things like that to really make this like, because this is a dark ride, but it's also a technologically advanced dark ride. There's rumors of having augmented reality glasses, so there's a chance that they could even be projecting things on top of reality in your goggles. But not even talking about that, the actual settings for this is probably the most detailed dark ride that Universal's ever created. Then we go into like a tunnel, a transitional tunnel, and there's a lot of these throughout the ride. The whirlpool is probably one of them too, where it's either LED effects or projections or both that kind of make it look like you're moving really fast, but also changing from one location to another. So we're in a mansion, but then we go into a tunnel that sweeps us all the way up into the air using like screens, and then we come out of the tunnel, and then we're at the top of clouds, and we're like, there's propellers from airships around us.
Oh my gosh.
And we're and like, imagine that you've only got 20 seconds or so in each of these scenes, or 30 seconds in a scene, and it's like just about the time you're like, this is pretty cool. Whoa, whoa, and then you're flying into the air, and it's like, I was just in a mansion and now I'm in the clouds.
I heard you briefly touch on theming, like the theming that we'll see in the mansion, the theming that we'll see in general throughout the ride. You can tell me if you agree with me or not, but I consider Diagon Alley in particular to be the best thing that Universal has ever themed. Do you think this is surpassing that? Is there something that I didn't think of that you think they've themed well and it's going to be to that level? Where is this going to rank in your opinion as far as Universal's theming over the years? As
far as the Mario Kart ride itself, like the theming is, I mean, like Cat in the Hat, E.T., the Madagascar ride overseas, there's not that many dark rides that aren't screen-based. Most of the dark rides Universal has done, like if you were to take the Gringotts ride and take all the screens out of it, the sets that are there are great, but they're usually half sets.
Right.
You only see whatever's behind you as a set, and then what you're looking at a screen. This is the first time in a long time, or at least the biggest one that they've ever done, that's like really just fleshed out scenes.
Wow.
Like it's the theming of Diagon Alley, or one of their best things in a ride. Big giant open scenes but like also racing against another car. So like as soon as you enter the cloud scene, you're going to see clouds going on for a long time, and they might use screens to expand the backgrounds and make it look like you're really up in the sky, but there'll still be tons of physical props and like literally props, propellers spinning around you.
So you're saying most of this is actually being accomplished physically?
Yeah, I mean the tunnel that takes you from the mansion up to the clouds, that's going to be some kind of LED projection or a screen as a transitional element, like the good old days at Epcot, or the if you had Wings ride. It's just a teeny little scene, like it's an interstitial. It's not even a full scene. It's just a way to get you from A to B. But once you enter the actual scene, all physical. We're talking animatronics in other cars, like Koopa comes up riding up beside you. Waluigi comes up beside you and is like, I'm gonna win. And then he goes away. Like, it's going to be so much so fast that, like Rise of the Resistance, I think, and this is like the future of dark rides, you're going to have to go on it multiple times to really catch your breath and know what's happening. It's like, did we just go through 7 different tracks? Like what just happened? After the air, we fall all the way to the ground, and we're surrounded by dark skies and a giant volcano up ahead. Like it's so insane.
And you said it's all in one level?
Yeah, I think there might be some minor height elevation changes, but yeah, this is all on the lower level of the building.
How is that even possible?
It's going to use tunnel effects to give you the illusion that you're falling back to the earth. I think the ride vehicle will spin too when you're flying up into the air, maybe when you're falling back down, to really disorient you and give you the illusion that you're falling. It also
spinning as in you were just hit by a shell and now you're spinning.
Yeah, I was going to say, it might have that too. There might be some interactivity and the other car might throw a shell at you. And yes, you probably will skid out. So that's
what a perfect excuse for that.
Exactly. So if it's already got the technology anyway, you might as well use it for some of the other effects. The Grumble volcano scene, you're heading toward a giant volcano, but then you go into the volcano and there's lava blasting all around you. You'll feel the heat of the lava. There'll be projection mapped like magma around you, technically magma because you're inside the volcano now. And then of course we have to end in Rainbow Road, and this is another one where if you use all the tricks of the trade and use moving backgrounds but with physical sets, you can create a rainbow road that seemingly is floating in space that you're driving on.
This is going to be one of the most visually pleasing things I think I've ever looked at in a theme park, especially if I'm legitimately on a rainbow road where it looks like there is absolute nothingness on each side of it and it's just space.
It's crazy because we'll be driving toward like more Rainbow Road, but then we'll also have Rainbow Road wrapped around us, because you know the way it like wraps around itself in the track in the newer versions. It's going to be like that. It's like we're on Rainbow Road, but then we can also see Rainbow Road, and there might even be like projected characters riding on the track above us and things like that to make it even more interactive. And if you see the newer games, the Rainbow Road, it's not a static road. It's like glowing and it's got colors moving around. So with some projection mapped effects, I think we can have a very lively scene here that just and also it's the longest track, I believe, on this attraction. So they not only are they ending the ride with it, but I think they're giving us the most time in it to really just savor its beauty.
So I'll put you on the spot with this question. In your opinion, what is the most complete attraction that either A, you've been on, or B, that you've seen in the world? What do you think is the most complete attraction from fun, theming, across the board?
You're putting me on the spot, but like
I know I'm putting you on a big spot, but I want to,
because I just did a video on Rise of the Resistance and the special effects.
Sure.
And I've ridden that 3 times now. I feel like that one, as far as the total package, might be the most impressive, because it's really like 3 or 4 pre-shows, but somehow it all feels like a cohesive like experience, like I'm part of the story. It's really just missing a tiny piece of interactivity to make it complete. Like if it had some iota of an interactivity where your actions make some kind of change to the attraction, not that it would fit, but if it did, somehow that would be the best. Like there's no beating it. It might be the best for a decade.
So now here comes my next question, and you can plead the fifth. You don't have to answer it. Does Mario Kart take the spot?
I don't know. You know, it might come down. It might come down to how it's interactive. It might come down to whether the augmented reality goggles hinder the experience, or if they choose to just not use them at all. I like being able to just enjoy a dark ride. So I worry that having goggles on is going to deter from the fact that there's such beautiful sets. So I don't know. I think the jury might still be out. I feel I'm going to like Super Nintendo World, the land overall, more than things like Galaxy's Edge, but I still might think Rise of the Resistance is the best individual ride. We'll just have to see. The jury's still out. And I will end on one thing that I think is incredibly interesting. We might be getting Pokemon much sooner than anyone thinks.
That's a bomb to drop.
We'll just say that.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Shark Stop segment on the Theme Park Shark podcast. Definitely keep it locked here for all of these updates. If we're going to drop bombs like that on you guys, definitely going to be updates more in the future. So definitely stay tuned for more episodes. If you want to catch Alicia Stella and anything else, she is the Theme Park Stop by Alicia Stella on YouTube. She has her podcast, the Park Stop Podcast, and she is also on Twitter at Alicia Stella. To catch up on anything Theme Park Shark related, you can find us at www.themeparkshark.com. Our podcast is also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify at just the Theme Park Shark Podcast. And we're also on YouTube, obviously, as you guys know, at the Theme Park Shark. Can't thank you guys enough for watching. Thank you so much for checking out another episode. We will see all of you guys in the next one. Thanks so much.